Hey Space Cats, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm back with Lionel Metrailler and we are talking more about ESA's astronaut selection program. This week specifically we're going to be talking about the requirements for this first stage. So let's start off about the requirements. There's several things that we need to do this first selection round. The first thing that we need to submit is a Europass CV. In addition to that, we need to submit a motivation letter. We need a medical, aviation medical specifically, and a European grade one. What else am I missing?
Is that the passport. Basically, to prove that you're from ESA member state.
Okay, yeah. So a passport and also a questionnaire. So, yes. Let's talk first about this Europass CV because I think in the UK most people wouldn't have heard of this before.
Yeah, it was not the first time for me, but yeah, I heard about it a few years ago, but I haven't done it yet. So I just know that it's a specific template, but I don't really know more, to be honest.
Okay, so the Europass CV is a European-led CV template, and the idea is that they want people to have more uniform CVs when they're looking for jobs. So they have a website for it. It's on europa.eu/Europass.
Yep. I have an account there. I did the account a few days ago, so I still need to populate the CV and to do it. But yeah, I have an account there.
Right. So the idea is that you go to this website and you can create a CV or a cover letter in their very standard format. And in order to create your CV, you have to create a profile. So you have to register, well, you don't have to register, but to get access to most of the material on there, you have to register. And once you've registered, you create your profile, which asks for things such as your personal information, your date of birth, gender, nationality, experience, digital skills that you can add. And then there's 3 different templates that you can choose from, where you can add a Europass logo and the page numbers. I actually really don't like this CV.
I've seen a few of them, but I don't like them either. I mean, I understand the principle of having all the same kind of CVs, so it's easier to read through, and maybe I guess they might have developed some way to do it automatically. I don't know. Maybe they are looking through keywords or something like this in all the CVs to extract informations. So they don't need to go through all the tens of thousands of CVs that they're going to receive. So I guess that's maybe why they're asking for a specific template.
Yeah, I understand too. So on like their basic functions, they have like you have to add your work experience, your education and training, language skills and digital skills. But if you didn't know, you can also add new sections. And first I thought like those were the only sections that you have, but actually there is an option to add further sections like your hobbies, your driving license, and other things, volunteering, publications, etc. So at first I thought, oh, well, if you can't put any hobbies, then like, what's the point of this CV?
That's true.
Additionally, something that's quite strange about this that people won't be used to in the UK is that you have to put a photo.
Yeah, I heard about it, and it's pretty common here in Switzerland, at least in the jobs I've applied. Jobs I've applied for, so it's okay for me. I'm used to it. I have pictures ready to put on the CV, but yeah, I know that in a lot of EU countries it's not a thing that you do.
I think for British people, I think that would be very strange, and people don't like to put their photos on CVs. It's actually seen as a bad thing, but in Europass, that's the standard.
But I guess you can choose not to put it, but I guess you have to. I don't know if you have to or if you can choose not to put it, actually.
On the 3 templates that they all have an image like of a person. So I think if you didn't have it, it would just be like
an empty box or something. Yeah.
Or like a like, what do they call it? The like stick figures.
Oh yeah.
And that would be even weirder, I suppose. So what do you think are the most important sections to have on this CV?
Okay, well, you should not put everything you have done in your life. I think it's not the goal. Yeah. You have to focus on the main things that are that they might be interested in. So, of course, your experience, work experience. They ask for 3 years of experience, so you should at least have a few lines on them. On your experience, and then you should also add your studies, of course, what you've done, where you've done your studies, in which subjects, and maybe I would say maybe a few of the main projects you've done. Not even sure. Just maybe to have they can have a broad idea of what you did during your studies and what kind of experience you have. I think maybe about the programming languages, because when you have a working experience, you don't necessarily go through a whole variety of programming languages. Maybe when you were studying, you do a bit more. So I guess it's important to put that in. And yeah, I guess also the hobbies, because they are asking for people who can put themselves in kind of risky situations from time to time. So you can have hobbies such as skydiving or alpine skiing, or I don't know, all kinds of risky sports, let's say, that can show that you can take risks, and you know the risks you take, and you can manage those risks. So it's also important to be an astronaut.
Yeah, I think things like swimming and diving and flying are like really important skills to have that they'd be looking for. So having these hobbies included in your CV would be very useful. Whereas things like publication lists, that wouldn't be very useful here, I don't think. Okay, they also have a cover letter section where they standardize your cover letter. So this is what you could use for your motivation letter. They haven't asked specifically for a Europass motivation letter, but I think it would make sense if you're doing the CV in Europass to also use their cover letter template.
Do you really think so? Because my idea would be to do it on another template, because it's the way you can show how different you are from the Europass CV, because they haven't specified it, so you don't have to use the Europass CV, I guess, the Europass template for the motivation letter, because I don't think they will read through the motivations letter, because they will not be able to. They might read through only a few hundreds or thousands of them, not the whole batch. So I guess it would make sense. At least I think I will do another one. If I can upload another one, I think I will do another one. It's one way to go out of this template that is kind of boring. So
yeah, I agree the template is kind of boring, but I feel like standardization might be important for them too. So you're right, like you could stand out, but it might not be for the best reasons. So.
Okay, let's say I will do both, and I will see what they require when we do the selection, when we do the application.
The cover letter is actually quite, even though they give you the template, it's like you just write the main body of your text anyway. There's not really anything structured about it, unlike the CV where they've got structured sections that you have to fill in. In their cover letter, they don't have that.
Then it I guess it will not change drastically between my template or the European.
My personal CV and my personal cover letters, I use like green fonts, and then I use like an image of like galaxies in the background just to stand out a little bit. So people are usually bored of looking at the same CVs and same like black and white cover letters over and over again. And having that, I think it makes it really stand out.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's a good idea.
We will see. So the other thing, I don't want to talk about the medical yet because you've had your medical.
Yes, I've had it. And
Yeah.
where are you gonna get it?
I haven't had my medical yet. It's going to fit in as soon as I have time.
Okay.
But as soon as I have, then we can both discuss that together, I think.
Yes.
And that makes more sense.
Yep.
And we can go through each of the steps in detail. As
I said before, well, last time we spoke about that. Be careful with the timeline and the schedule, because you might be stuck at some point. If you cannot do it, you might be stuck to upload it before the end of the deadline, before the deadline for the application. So yeah, be careful.
Absolutely. But I also think it will be quite hard to do it right now as well because of COVID restrictions. Like even our doctor appointments at the moment, they're all virtual. So they're online, and only a few like hospital appointments are like in person. Most of them are online too. So
well, I'm happy to be in Switzerland then.
We will have to see how this goes. So the other thing on the list was, I guess, well, passport is kind of straightforward, right? So we just scan our passport and upload that. The other thing would be the questionnaire.
Yes.
So we don't have the questionnaire yet. It's not published yet, right?
Of course, no, it will be published. Well, it will be open on the 31st as everything else. So we'll see. And I think we will have time to fill it in, because they will open the 31st. Then we can start straight away to upload our things and to answer the questions, I guess. And we will have some kind of saving. We can save the questionnaire in the middle, and then we can continue a few days later. So I guess we're gonna check. I guess I'm gonna check the questions and then see how I can improve. Or I don't know if I can improve, but I don't know if it's the goal to improve your answers. You should answer honestly. So yeah, I will see.
Have they said that it's like time constrained? Because I'm kind of worried that it will be time constrained. Like many of the interviews, like for ESA jobs, are done through a system called Sunroo, and they're like time restricted questions. You see the question and you have like a minute to answer.
Oh, okay.
Next one. So
I don't know how it will be, but I just assumed that it was not like that, because when they were talking about the last selection, they said, okay, we had, I don't know how many thousands of people who started to fill in the questionnaire, and only out of these, I don't know, 10 or 12,000 people, only 9,000 finished it. So when I heard that, I thought, okay, it means that they open it, then you can do it, and you can save your progress, and then come back later. I guess maybe it's not the case, but that's my assumption.
Okay, that makes sense. So do you think it's the same as the previous one?
I have no idea. That's the only thing we can expect. Maybe it could be different, but that's the only. Yeah. That's the only true thing we have. The last selection, so we'll see.
What kind of questions do you think will come up?
I guess all kinds of questions. So from your studies through your way of living, through the hobbies you have. I guess you will gonna say mostly what you have said already in your CV, but in sort of bullet points answers, or I don't know, maybe some kind of questions like, oh, if you were in this situation, what kind of risks would you be able to take to solve this problem? I don't know. And then you should answer, maybe I'm likely to take some risk, or I'm not likely to take risks. These kind of questions, I guess, with maybe a sliding bar, I don't know. Maybe also a language, English or French, maybe, I don't know, if it's if it's a thing. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward.
I doubt it will be English or French questions, because if it's like how you said it is about like you've got unlimited time, then people could just go and look that up.
Yeah, you're right.
And similarly for like, I guess a lot of HR questions, because usually there is an answer that they're looking for when they're asking HR type questions.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like what you would do in a specific situation, and talk about some past situation where something has happened to you, for example. Those kind of questions. They always have like a correct answer, don't they? And you can obviously look that up if it was time constrained. So I
don't know if you have really a correct answer in these cases, because if you have a lot of different questions, HR questions, or they put you in a situation where you have a problem and you have to answer what you would do, it depends on your personality, on your way of living. So if you have, like, let's say 10 questions on more or less the same subject, if you will answer the 10 times in a proper way to show what you are and who you are, then it makes the whole batch of questions logical. If you start to answer a few questions in one way and the other questions in another way, then it shows that you're not consistent, and you might be not honest when you answer. So I guess they will have for sure in this questionnaire some tests questions. They know that these questions will be to test the people if they are honest during the questionnaire or not. They have to do it, because otherwise it's too, maybe not too easy, but I guess people will try to fake it somehow, to maybe gain more points and to have a better grade at the end. So we'll see. But I think they will have these test questions to rank and to check if you're honest or not.
I think that's usually why people do interviews in person, because you can look at someone's body language and like their like facial expressions, and you can tell a lot about whether or not they're being honest, or they're like, just in their presence. And that's why it's so difficult doing it online and via a questionnaire. I think it's very difficult to get the same feeling.
Well, it's going to be difficult for them to understand, yes. And I guess that's why there's going to be a part of luck. People will answer to the question, and some people will be lucky because they will answer in a good way, because they will be in a good mood when they will do the questionnaire. And other people will answer in another way, and then they will be at the bottom of the list, even if they would be perfectly good to be astronauts. So yeah, we need to live with this, because they cannot, of course, interview 50,000 people. So we have to live with this, and we need to be lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be so devastating if I don't get through the first round.
I have the same feeling. I would really, really like to go to the next step. That's basically my goal. That's my main goal. So I would be frustrated and I would be disappointed, but at least I would have tried. So that's the main thing.
And would you try again?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Of course.
You know, like some astronauts, at NASA, they try like so many times before they're eventually selected.
Well, but NASA is doing they recruit people every 4 years or something. They do a selection every 4 or 5 years. even less sometimes. So yeah, you can.
4.
Yeah, so you can actually participate to, I don't know, five times maybe, 5 or 6 times. So yes, it's not easier, but because you go through the stress of the selection all over again.
You would have practiced enough to get it right, like you know what.
Yeah, true.
It's like your driving test, right? So
I passed it first time, so it's fine. I don't have this. I don't have this experience.
Mine was 4th time.
Okay, well, still good. Other people will need way more tries. I hope you will not have to wait for the 4th selection to pass it.
I hope not. I think the biggest worry I have is if they make us fly a helicopter or something like that.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. I would like to try it.
I've tried plane simulators and I crash landing every time.
I have a friend who has a simulator, and maybe I should go to his place and train a bit.
Yeah,
that would be nice. I tried once. He made me try once, and it was really interesting to have the whole 3D, even 4D perspective of to pilot airplane or helicopter. It's completely different than the car. The car is so easy compared to something flying. So yeah.
There's just so many controls, right? Like
yeah, up and down, rotations, and yeah.
Exactly.
And you need to keep everything steady, and it's difficult.
And I'm really good at video games, and still like I'm rubbish at landing planes. Simulation planes.
It depends which kind of video games you're good at.
All video games.
I didn't know that.
I used to play a lot, but then I gave up when I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15.
Okay.
Play again. But before that, like since I was like 2 years old, I was playing video games.
Cool.
Okay, so that was all on my agenda for today, and I think that's long enough for what I want to talk about. Thank you so much for joining me here today again.
Thank you, Maggie.
We'll be back again in a couple of weeks, and still talking about this ESA astronaut program, talking about the selection process and how we ourselves get on with it. So thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.